Hi, I'm Betsy Rosenberg, and I've been interviewing environmentalists or people doing good environmental things, good things for the environment, our planet, for 2 decades. And I may have just met the most impressive duo in all those years, and I'm not kidding. So, without further ado, we're going to jump in and meet Isabelle and Katherine Adams. It's just because I'm so blown away by their story that I'm not getting the names right. And it's early here in Dallas this morning. You started something years ago that is going strong, that is so impressive, that is so impactful. Your sisters, and tell us how this wonderful project got started, whoever wants to start. Katherine?
Sure. So when we were 5 and 8, we learned that a child died every 15 seconds from unclean water, and that girls our age didn't get to go to school because they were hauling water all day. And we thought that that was really unfair, and we wanted to do something about it.
Where is that? Where does that happen?
All over the world, actually. So we decided to take something that we love doing, which is origami, and to do something good with it. And so we started taking funds on November 3rd, 2011, and 7 years later, we've raised over $1.7 million and helped to fund over 200 water projects.
That is remarkable. And you say 100% of the proceeds go
Yes,
to the cause. You don't get paid anything for this.
No.
How much time does this take? You're schoolgirls. I'm sure you have a lot of homework, especially as you've gotten older.
Yes. It's usually we spend anywhere between 30 minutes and 2 hours a day. It depends on what time of the year it is. During the holiday season, we spend a lot more time. During the summer, we also spend a lot more time since we don't have school. It's just kind of a balancing act, but it's also really fun.
Balancing act. These hang in the balance. Gorgeous. Lives are hanging in the balance, and they are making a difference. Wow. So what do your friends and fellow students say about what you're doing? Are they inspired? Have you inspired other similar good deeds?
I hope so. We've inspired a couple other people to go out and start their own thing, but also a lot of my friends help volunteer and do stuff with us.
Same.
And what's your process? You go buy the paper. Do you come up with different designs, or do you kind of have a assembly line at this point with certain patterns? Which is fine, because it's no easy thing, and this is obviously handmade with love.
For the most part, we use designs that are created by origami artists that are usually professionals. It's extremely difficult to create your own design. I've actually never been able to. Katherine, on the other hand, she's been able to come up with at least one of her own designs.
Good for you.
But for the most part, we use designs that are made by artists. A lot of our paper we actually get donated by paper companies, which is really great because paper can be expensive.
Yes, and they should do their part.
But sometimes we get specialty paper that we do buy. Recently this year, we sourced paper from Italy, actually, which is really cool because it's super fun to fold. We get a lot of paper from Japan, obviously, because it's
What makes Italian paper more fun to fold? I'm just curious.
Just the design.
It's just really pretty. It has this nice gold sparkle to it, and sparkly things are great.
So do you sell them for different prices?
Yes,
depending
we
on the
do.
intricacy?
And depending on the amount of time it takes and the amount of paper. So larger ornaments, because they take more paper and more time, are more expensive. But sometimes smaller ornaments are also more expensive because the smaller you get, the more difficult it is to fold.
Yes. Now you have smaller fingers, but not forever. Will that be a problem?
I don't think so. I mean, anybody can fold origami.
Not anybody.
Well, actually, yes.
Really?
We have volunteers of all ages, and it's really amazing.
Is it like a pattern, like there's numbers that you follow?
A lot of people who aren't really good at it, they'll just start it and they'll just do the first maybe 2 steps and then somebody else can take it. So anybody can do it.
And what do these sell for typically?
So the ornament that you're holding sells for $60.
60. And 100% of that goes to, how do you get the money to the right places, since you said this is a problem around the world?
So we partner with 2 organizations, Living Water International and Dig Deep. And Living Water International, they are the boots on the ground for all of our international projects. And they're working in the communities, and they know the families who live there, and they know where the greatest need is, and they have the equipment to drill the wells. So they're the ones who build all of our projects overseas. And then Dig Deep, they work exclusively here in the US, usually for the most part on Native American reservations. And we're working with them in New Mexico to install water systems in 250 homes on a Navajo reservation.
You know, in America, we take a lot for granted, our resources, food, water, energy. We waste a tremendous amount. That's what got me into doing environmental reporting 22 years ago with a feature called Trash Talk, Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, Rot. What is your message for Americans about water conservation and the need to treat it as a precious, limited resource, especially during drought years as we get here in Texas?
Water is just something that, as you said, everybody takes for granted, but a lot of people don't have access to it. And it's such a privilege that we can have access to it, and we should definitely be very conservative and take advantage of what we have.
Have you gotten your friends to maybe turn off the faucet when they're brushing their teeth, or maybe your dad when he's shaving? Your dad probably already gets it, but my husband didn't. That's what got me into this when we first got married 25 years ago. He said he did his best thinking when the water was running. I said, get a recording of a babbling brook. You're wasting water. And it drives me nuts. Does it drive you guys nuts when you see somebody like in a restaurant with just the water full blast and they're not even using it? Yeah. Do you say something, I hope?
Yes, we try. And it also drives me nuts when we drive by somebody watering their yard after it's rained.
Yes, it's
That
sort of
drives
like when
me
people
nuts.
have the air conditioning on in a hotel and also a gas fire going, whether they need either one or not, which you wouldn't need both. So I'm so glad you say something. That's important. Tell people what they should do if they see water waste anywhere, not just where they live, not just in their school, but anywhere. It's all of our concern, and we need to raise consciousness. So this is your chance to give a message to our viewers about if they see, because there is so much waste out there.
Yes, definitely say something. It's really important to conserve water because water is the most basic necessity. And if you don't have water, you can't do anything, which is why we've decided that that's going to be our cause, because without clean water, there can't be economic growth, development, you can't even grow food. And so water is just the most important thing you can have.
People can go longer without food than they can without water.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you're doing this. I mean, see something, say something, right?
Exactly.
What are you going to be when you grow up besides king and queen of the universe in my book?
Thank you.
Or queen and queen?
Over the years, I've said a bunch of different things, but I've always been interested in the world of medicine and being a doctor. So,
how proud are your parents of you two?
Very.
very.
Very. But they're amazing. We would not be able to do what we do without them.
Tell us, what was their influence briefly?
Well, they've encouraged us from the very beginning to keep achieving our goals, and obviously neither of us can drive yet, so we literally wouldn't be able to do it without them. But they're just amazing, and they haven't ever given up on us.
That's so inspiring, and you must be kind of well known in your community.
We'd like to think so.
And does Neiman Marcus help? Can they pitch in something?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
They can
this
afford
is
a
our,
donation.
what, second, third?
This upcoming year will be our third year with them, and they're amazing. They have helped us connect with so many awesome people. They have helped get our message all over the U.S. Obviously, with our ornaments in their stores, they've been huge partners, and we're very grateful to them.
I have a question. Do they use recycled paper to make origami?
So we sometimes, we use like sometimes magazines, newspapers.
We reuse old books.
So, hymn books. Those make really pretty ornaments.
What kind of books?
Old music books.
Oh.
So
Who would have thought?
a lot of times we'll go to Half Price Books and we'll buy a lot of their old books and cut them up and make paper. Well, not make paper, but make origami with them.
I'm not sure if I said the name of your wonderful organization, you guys being the organization, Paper for Water. I was so intrigued when I saw the name. I thought, I can't wait to find out what this is about. And now I'm not only intrigued, I'm impressed. Super. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Go far, go fast, go loud. I'm going to tell people I know about you too, so we'll have to find out how we can. I'll find you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, really, it's all about wasting water for me. That's where it all started. Be careful. It goes out from there.
Oh, yes.
A lot of waste in this country.
Yes.
Thanks for doing it. More than your part.
Thank you.